So I thought I needed to make this video because I was brainstorming some ideas for whoever is investigating this in extreme details and has access to anything that they want. This is about my dead sister, my sister that died. Miranda or Marissa, I don't even know her name. But I wanted to say this because how the parasites and hyenas came in every inch and corner, parasitically going after her dead body and using it for an exchange for the Cooper family. And one of the reasons I say this also, I'll follow it up with another story of what happened when Madison was at Walmart. I was working at Walmart and she showed up out of nowhere claiming that she was working there. I didn't talk to her or anything, but she was trying to sort of train me or poison me, and all I said was like, I didn't want anything to do with her. I'm not going to get involved in whatever you want to try to take from me. And she was looking at the ground like a dead body because, ew, it's over there, and it belongs over there. And she's using it in exchange for my sister's dead body to bring Kenneth Cooper, the radio station, back into my family with Julian and me. And then it's just, oh, okay, you see, we feel sorry for that dead body. No, feel sorry for Kenneth so he can get what he wants. So since that person's Madison Cooper's already moved on in their life, that's what they're doing with the white supremacy. And it's about race. And I don't like it to be racist, and I don't like it to be prejudiced. In fact, I find it to be very beautiful when it's multicultural. But it is, in the circumstances, in this tug of war of who gets the credit, dead body, and tears, and emotional, and pivoting, moving for a better career, better praise among the people, whether it's you tolerated more abuse or you did more heroic work. But that's the white statue, what that's supposed to look like, the mascot, and their family. Why my mother's being scummed like a worthless pig, just shitting out kids for somebody to pick them up. So, but before I that's the story about Madison Cooper who showed up, and then I go to that was like 4 years ago when I met my sister, my half-sister Mikayla. They said her name was Lisa. And Mikayla, who's my half-sister, she's my royal blood. We share the same father. And I talked about that I didn't know she was my sister, and I never knew my whole life. So I think it's important for me to say this because at the time I was living at the Lawrence Community Shelter, and I got a job over at Walmart to work there for like a month, or not even a month. It was like 2 or 3 weeks. And when I worked there, after Madison showed up out of nowhere, we're working on a pallet, and there's a bunch of stuff on there, and there was nobody in the aisle. And I actually was sent over to work with that, or no, she showed up, and then they sent me to work with her for like a day. And not even a day, she was probably like 2 hours or something to finish the pallet. And this person is showing up to the defense of Kenneth Cooper and Sarah Cooper of what they did to my mother and the dead little girl in my family, because they want to clean up the horrible rapes they knew about and everything that's going on. So I can't do anything because that's white supremacy, and the whites are for the whites. They run everything. You're not going to throw them in prison. The police officers throws the niggas in the prisons and the Mexicans. We understand, and being Hispanic, that white gets put in line first, and they get the better ends and more of everything in life. Especially when you're a pretty girl. And just because somebody's a pretty girl doesn't mean they can be very disgusting as a human being. So, when I go to the office later that day or two, there's a guy that looks like Ken Cooper. And he tries to behave like him, blonde hair, blue eyes, sort of chubby fat. And then he looks at me and he goes, yeah, you too. And he's like persecuting me, saying he's a detective over the dead little girl. And they correlate this about ownership over my dead sister that died many years ago, didn't get a proper burial. She just got discarded into the trash. And they want to make sure that they protect Sarah Cooper because they're already old. God even knows if Ken Cooper's even still alive. But they want to know that since they've already scummed themselves at the highest levels that you can and did this to my mother and my immediate family and the dead little girl to make it about themselves and get away and send their platoons of people, and they did. They know that they just have to continue doing that, and they did. And that's why I was at Walmart. But I think it's important for me to say this. This happened when I was over at Lawrence Community Shelter in Lawrence, Kansas. And I was working at a Walmart like a couple miles down the road. And I think it's important to understand that that's what's going on in my life. What happened, I think I've shared some of that story before. I'm going to have to draw some pictures of it, because I don't know who has the cameras who's showing it to the proper people that need to know, especially my mother. And I think it's important because within that time frame that I was living there at the Lawrence Community Shelter, and Mikayla was working at the shelter, and I didn't know that this was my sister. What happens is I get an interview at some point to work over at, to go to a job interview to be a shuttle driver over at a college. It's to be a college shuttle driver. So I would be driving the short buses, the short buses, the disability buses or something like that. But they also have college buses that are just like that, and you drive the college students from their apartments to their college campus, University of Kansas. And when I went to this interview, this is with like a month after or a month before Madison showed up out of nowhere. And they're going after this is because I'm trying to protect my sister Mikayla. Mikayla, please watch after your life. Madison and that entire family is gonna come after you, and they're gonna also try to use the dirty, filthy, straight women to come after you. This is what I think is important. I know, pretty sure cameras didn't catch this. I went there for an interview, and it's like an apartment college campus. It's real nice. They got like real good amenities in the community, like room and fireplace. I mean, it looks pretty upscale to me, and a bunch of colorful different apartments. It's right behind Walmart where I worked. And I walk in there, and I go into go into this lobby, and I look from the distance to my right, and I notice there's an office with a woman in there. She's probably like in her late 20s to early 30s. Very pretty girl, very pretty. She was 100% female. And I saw her, and she knew who I was, and she was typing, and she wouldn't type, she was like getting some paperwork, and she looked at the screen, and she goes, and then she looked over at me like she wanted to do something bad to me or someone that was around me. And this was some sort of brunette looking girl. I think I don't remember the color of her eyes, and it doesn't matter with race. And I think it's important to understand, I don't know who this person was. I don't know what the connection was. Could have admit, the way that I felt about it is this person was looking something at a screen and was like thinking to themselves, and then looked over at me like, oh, Mikayla's gonna help me go after you. We're gonna gut her open. And that's what they're setting up, because Madison showed up out of nowhere. Now they're going to be sending platoons of heavy amounts of ammunition of all hates toward you. And I think it's important because I don't think I've ever shared that. And I was thinking of that because I remember being, at that time, I have no idea why this person, because there's a lot of people that always do that to me. But it was unusual for me to be around a heterosexual female because they're never allowed around me, ever. I was really surprised that I was even to be able to go to a college camp to an interview, and then there'd be a heterosexual female, because I thought, because they don't ever let me talk to them. They won't let me associate with them at all. And even if I don't talk to them, to even look at them, they're all taken away from me, all of them. And but I think it's important for you to understand, Mikayla, please watch after your life, because you don't understand how nasty and how powerful they're going to be sending also other poisonous girls. And that's what the gay community is good at. They're very good at poisoning and going after the women to then have the dirty women go after you to keep themselves clean. So it's really nasty. But you got to understand that girl's full white. You're only half. And if that's a full breed, then they get full treatment of royalty. Everything that comes and around them will be royalty. And because you're involved with Mexican, and you're involved with the dead Mexican girl and the dead girl, and whatever it is that they're scoping out for a very long time and going after our biological father, It is Madison and that entire Cooper, because they want to transform this to, oh, it was the gay community at first, now it's the straight community. No. It is all those queers. It is this homosexual frenzy of them all. That's all it is, the transgenders and gays. And it's a frenzy of just hyenas ripping apart this little girl and trying to get a piece of meat out of it. But I say this in the desperation to try to protect Mikayla. Please understand that there's already someone like that threatening. And I got the feeling, now that I think about it, I get the feeling, because at the time I didn't know you were my sister. At the time I don't know who this girl is, but I know Madison just shot her. Why? And you gotta understand, you know, I just say this out of your desperation to protect yourself and keep those around you, you know, any friends that might want to do something harmful or lie to you really bad. And that's exactly how they will want to target you, because they won't be able to get caught. It's better to get someone else to do the killings and then not be able to point the finger, and it benefits them because they don't care. It's like hitmen. And I say this to protect your life. You're my sister. You will always be my sister. And I wish I could have been able to, you know, protect the situation. If you don't know what Kenneth Cooper did, Ken and Sarah Cooper, and what they were doing on my job sites to deter me away from you, because they wanted to send everything they could toward you in the harmful ways that they could, and then clean it up afterwards with the dead little girl and get you to feel guilty for that. They know how to work your brain. They know how to work your environments. This is only working from the Cooper family, a source of evil. Very dark, satanic, evil shit. This is not good for giving, kindness, understanding. This is not protection. This is about, I'm going to put you and harm you because I'm going to get away with it and nobody can stop me. So please be careful out there. I'm going to make another video that I've never shared before either, about my middle school at DeWitt Perry, an event after my sister died.